every decision we make matters. So I was thinking about how if I made like one different decision, I would have a completely different outcome of the past 2 years. And like the decisions that I made after I went through this breakup that I went through, there's certain decisions that I made, certain conscious decisions that I made because I wanted, like, I just knew what I wanted to do from that point, which was put all of my energy into me. And, like, all the love I was giving to the other person, I can give to me. All the attention I was giving to the other person, I can give to me. But these are little conscious decisions that I made just on a whim. Like off the top of my head, I went through a breakup. I'm sitting there crying and I'm like, oh, I make a decision. I need to get myself in shape. I need to work on my mind. I need to better myself. Even though I was already on this like spiritual journey, right? Where I was slowly growing, slowly like just becoming the best version of me. But the like if you have a traumatic thing that happens to you, it's almost like it can shock you into reality or it can shock you out of reality. And for me, it shocked me into reality where I'm like, I see. I seen something that I didn't see before. I seen me. And I seen that I wasn't the me that I thought I was. The me that I am today, right? Like the man that I am today is the man that I thought I always was. Like, I thought I always was this version of me. Like, because you don't think about it. Like, if I ask someone, do you feel like you? They're gonna be like, yeah, of course I feel like me. I'm me. But are they? Like, and what does that mean? What does it mean to be you, to be yourself? The self, what is the self? Like, this, it reminds me, like, Terrence McKenna would go into the DMT world, right? And like even probably the mushrooms, he would meet these machine elves, these self transforming machine elves. It's like that's what we are. Like, I'm self transforming myself because it's like, what is me? Me is a thing that can self transform, that can grow. Like I always say this all the time, but to grow like a flower. That's why like I want to grow into the day I die. But it's like I look at me where I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm me." But it's like every decision I've made matters. So like this kind of gets into free will and determinism. See, I had a conversation with my friend like a week or two ago, right? And I was telling him that I believe in both, and it's gonna piss off the people who believe in determinism, and the people that believe in free will are on opposite ends, but they can both come together to probably hate me for this because like they're like, oh, of course this guy believes in both, and it's like no, like listen, I truly believe in both because I had a DMT trip once where I seen the future, right? But it was like 100 trillion possibilities or 100 trillion outcomes that could be. Like there's 100 trillion outcomes that I could have. Like when I die, it's like I look back on my life and there was like 100 trillion outcomes of it, or maybe even like 500 trillion or like 1,000 trillion or whatever the fuck. But so many different outcomes. But yet, because there's a finite amount of outcomes, or like it doesn't matter if the number is so big that humans can't comprehend it, like a Google or whatever. I think that Google's an actual number, I'm pretty sure. And like even if there was like a million Googles of possibilities, it's still technically like limited, so therefore it is determined, but yet it's the free will exists because our free will determines which possibility we end up at. And I was thinking about this, and I was looking back at the past 2 years, and I was just thinking, I was like the man I am today, I thought I was this then, but I actually am this now. But I wasn't aware back then because I just thought I was me. Just like right now, I think I'm me. But it's like if you allow the consciousness to just be what it is, it will self transform. Like, that's why I think it's important to move the ego out the way, right? Because for me, I go through a lot of ego deaths, whether it's with psychedelics, whether it's with life, whether, I don't know, growing up poor, the breakup I went through, sleeping by myself, crying myself to sleep, doing push ups, bawling my eyes out, tears dropping on the floor while I'm doing the push ups, right? Like, it, that was like an ego death because it hit me so hard. And where did it hit me? In the ego, well, and in the soul a little bit, but like it hit me in the ego. Like I'm here alone now. And, like this thing is like it sucked, but it's just like a bad trip. If you can make it through the bad trip and learn the lessons within the bad trip, on the other side of that bad trip is healing. If you can learn the lessons from the breakup and why the breakup happened, um it's like you can learn and it's healing in the end. Like going through the process of understanding and then moving on, like letting go, moving on, um getting it, like then moving the energy instead, because we'd be shattering about the person that we lost, but all that energy, like we're beings of energy, so all that energy can be used to help us better ourselves. So like any bad situation you go through, it doesn't matter what it is, it's all just energy. And you can transmute that energy into something good. Like, I have like 12 or 13 songs made from the breakup. The fact that I needed a place to put my sadness. Now, these are decisions, like little decisions that I made that I don't know how to explain it. None of them songs would have been made if I never went through that breakup, but making those songs taught me how to make music better, which then made me go back to then fix my album Psychedelics and Computers, which is my first album, which I still haven't released because I learned so much by making the second album that I'm like, fuck. It makes the first album sound like shit. Well, not really, but like the warmness of the second album, the warmness, the like I don't know how to explain it, but I learned something by making those songs. Oh shit. But those songs are like they would have never been made if I never went through the breakup. And it's these little decisions. Now, this is why I stress to be conscious. If you're not conscious, you'll end up making unconscious decisions, wondering why you are where you are in life. But making conscious decisions, you'll be consciously aware of why you are where you are in life, and it's because of the decisions you made in life. And the shitty thing is, before we're conscious, everyone and everything is making decisions for us. So if you're not conscious, society makes decisions for you. Society tells you you have to live like this. You should have this dream. You should want a big house. You should want to be rich. You should want to. And it's like you'll get the generic things out of life if you don't become conscious and then start making conscious decisions for yourself. And it's you can make conscious decisions for your life, but you can make conscious decisions for your mind. And becoming conscious, I feel like, is the key, because that's the thing that I think that's the only advantage I had, like when I went through this breakup, is that I'm highly conscious. So I've been making conscious decisions for a while now. So going through the breakup, I was like, well, I'm gonna consciously decide to do this. I consciously choose. Like, you know how some people will hold back their tears. Like, I don't know. I went through the breakup and I bawled like a baby for weeks, bro. For fucking just crying myself to sleep for weeks, probably months. Like, but I consciously chose to say, no, I need to release this. Like, I can't, whatever. I then consciously made decisions where, like, I went down by the river and then just screamed at the top of my lungs, right? Just screamed. And, like, it's because I seen this video of these all these men. They were at like this male like retreat type thing, and there was all these men, and they went down by the waterfall, and they all screamed at the top of their lungs, and it was like this release to help them release. And it's like that works wonders, bro. Like I don't know how to explain it, but that shit works. And I haven't really been mad since. Like, I don't get mad anymore. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I started figuring out ways to get my feelings out. I'm like, well, if I get my sadness out through the music, I get my anger, a little bit, my frustration of life out like that, but also I get my frustration in life out with working out, right? And bettering myself, bettering my mind, working on the meditations, working on the all the like all these different things that I was just working on myself, because the energy that I was pouring into someone else, I was able to pour into myself. So, but these are decisions, bro. Little decisions that I made, that it's like if there was anything, one little decision changes everything. Like the butterfly effect thing. It's just it's crazy. And this is why I think becoming conscious is really the only solution to an unconscious life, right? Like becoming conscious is literally the only solution to try to grab your life by the balls type shit. Like a lot of times people are just letting life live them, and they're not really living life. But you can change that with one decision, because one decision changes everything. Like everything. And you have no idea how much one decision changes a drastic amount of things in the future. So it's like you can consciously begin to figure out your future by consciously making decisions to put you in a certain future. So like that DMT trip I had, where I seen all like just the possibilities of life, or whatever the fuck. It's like with making conscious decisions now for myself, I can just be like, I want this in my future. So I need to start doing these habits every week. Like, I want to get in shape. So I started working out and like started taking it seriously. I wanted to heal my mind. So I started taking my mental practices seriously. Like, I started consciously choosing, this is how I'm going to eat. I consciously eat, right? Like I'm not eating for dopamine anymore because I'm like, "Oh, I want this cuz it feels good." No, I work out so much that I need enough protein and enough vitamins, minerals and nutrients to replenish my body. And I eat because my body needs to be replenished. Like I don't know. Sometimes I'll have pizza because that's like my treat to myself. Where I'm like, yo, bro, I've been going in. I'm gonna have pizza for the next 2 days. Like, whatever. But I don't know. When you start being conscious, it also you just feel better in life. Like because I feel like everything in life is my fault. good or bad. If I end up in a fucked situation, I'm probably still gonna feel the way I feel. Like, I don't know. Because I'm so conscious, I'm just me now. I said this in a short, like in like a TikTok video where I was like, bruh, I could be a homeless man on the street. Like, and it's real, bro. I've said that so many times. Like, I would prefer to be a homeless man in the woods. I mean, there's a bunch of woods around, but like, I don't know how to explain it, but I'm just me no matter where I am. I could be across the world in a mansion, or I could be a homeless man on the street because I worked on myself so much. I am now just me no matter what. It doesn't matter how much pain, because I went through the painful thing and I cried myself to sleep, but I made it through. I went through the homeless thing, having to jog in the middle of the winter just to stay warm because I'm homeless. It's out at night. I don't have a place to go until the morning, and I just have to stay warm. Like, I went through some shit, and I'm like, bro, look at me now. And because of the, and it's so, if I didn't go through any of that, like, bro, life is fucking crazy. That's all I know is life is crazy. If I was never homeless, there'd be knowledge that I wouldn't have. Like, there's knowledge I have that other people don't because they've never had to run just to stay warm. Like, they've never had to run. Like, I don't know how to explain it, bro, but that shit is crazy how every little thing matters, and every little thing in your life builds you to be the person you are. And it's our perspective and our decisions about what we choose to do, because life is fucked up, but it is our choices that matter. Like, the choices we make matter. That's why the quicker you can become conscious, the quicker you'll start to be in a life that you actually want to be in. Because, yeah, I might not be where I want to be in life, but I'm who I want to be in life. Like, you know what I mean? Because I consciously chose to build myself before I started working on my life. But now that I'm myself, I'm like, bro, I could spend the rest of my life trying to build myself a better life. Like an actual better physical life with more money and more that and more this. But like, but now, but because I took the past 10 years to build the self, I was like, that was a conscious decision. A conscious decision that I made 10 years ago to be like, oh, I want to be a modern day shaman. I want to start taking psychedelics spiritually and seriously. I want to, like, why the fuck did I think that? Like, I don't know, bro. I'm just high as fuck. And I was sitting here thinking about, like, all of this shit. They're like, why? Some of the, because those are unconscious decisions. Back then, when I was still that gangster thug dude, I was making unconscious decisions. It was unconscious to say I want to be a modern day shaman. That was an unconscious thought, an unconscious decision that I want to start taking psychedelics spiritually. Unconscious. There was no one that influenced me. You know, all I had was the internet to influence me, but like all of my friends were like gangster, like they were thugged out too. Like, so like what made me go to that? That's why I agree with the shamans. They call it the calling. That like you get the calling. You know, you'll get the shaman's calling. And I got it before I understood what it was, but I don't know. All this shit is crazy because for me it was just the intuition. Like I had this feeling, this intuition feeling to go towards the shamanic journeys, you know, whatever. But like I had those same feelings when I went through the breakup. And like, I don't know, bro. I guess I just follow that feeling. Like, because I have a feeling that that feeling is leading me to one of the best outcomes of that 100 trillion possibilities that my future could be. And it's like, if I follow that intuition, like, I mean, it's worked out for me so far. Like, it worked out so far. So I'm almost like, well, I might as well keep doing it because I'm just making decisions based off this feeling that I have. And this feeling is a feeling that I can't even describe other than intuition. But how do you describe that feeling? Like that feeling, it almost reminds me of love. You know, like you when you fall in love, you have that this feeling. It almost reminds me of that, but it's different. And whenever I'm in a situation where like I went through the breakup or I started making music when I was a kid, when I was like 12, or I started making beats, or why did I start making beats on FL Studios? Why did I do this? Why did I do that? I don't know. I'm following this feeling. And then when I became conscious of it, because I was doing it unconsciously, when I became conscious of it, I consciously chose to say, fuck it. I'm going to follow that feeling. I don't know. But that feeling is the same feeling that was like, I'll hear. I heard Terrence McKenna for the first time, and I got that same feeling. So like, I don't know. This video originally was supposed to be just about um, free will and determinism, but yeah, I'm really high, so I just rambled on. But I appreciate y'all for watching, and I hope y'all have a good night.